Hey guys, my name is Oz Pariser, and I'm really excited to be taking on the role of Head Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Instructor at the Cage JSA Instructor Academy here in Cromwell, Connecticut. Jiu-Jitsu is for everyone. So while we do have an intense training environment here, we accommodate a broad range of people from hobbyists who have no interest in competing to the highest level competitors, and everything in between. So my goal is to continue the high level of instruction that we've always had while offering a curriculum that is welcoming to new students and allows them to ease their way into Jiu-Jitsu. I see Jiu-Jitsu as high-level physical chess. It's a multifaceted art that can train your mind and also can give you the confidence to function in your everyday life because you know that you can defend yourself. It's not a question anymore. I've been training martial arts for over 20 years. I started when I was 14 in Georgia with a full contact style of karate called Kyokushin Karate. I eventually met my instructor Shihan Kenji Fujiwara, who was visiting from Connecticut, and I was very passionate about karate and felt inspired and had the opportunity to actually end up moving in with him. It was a very difficult and rigorous but very rewarding experience. I lived with him for over 14 months, trained 7 days a week, upwards of 6 to 7 hours a day. I just basically cooked, cleaned, and trained. That was all I did. I didn't socialize or do anything else other than train. During this time, I competed a lot and represented the United States in various tournaments around the world for Kyokushin Karate. I competed in Canada, Russia, and Japan and did very well. And then I eventually found Jiu-Jitsu. During my time as a Kyokushin competitor, I met Matt Briers, a very close friend of mine now, who came and trained with us at our dojo in Kyokushin. He introduced me to Jiu-Jitsu, and as I was still competing in Kyokushin, I started training more and more in Jiu-Jitsu, and I found that love for Jiu-Jitsu starting to grow more and more. At this time, I was competing in a Japanese form of Jiu-Jitsu called Kobukai Jiu-Jitsu. But I felt that I wanted more. I wanted a more hardcore form of martial arts, so I felt gravitated towards MMA, mixed martial arts. I've had 5 professional mixed martial arts fights. I remember my first one was in New Hampshire for one of Kip Kolar's MMA promotions. And I just remember that feeling, how intense of a feeling it was. And even though I had a lot of competition experience prior to that, I had never felt anything like this before because it was just 2 men and thousands of people were watching in this pretty good sized arena in New Hampshire, and I was hooked after that. Then my second fight was in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Yeah, in this pretty small, intimate arena in Plymouth, Massachusetts, I ended up having a war with this guy, Andy Amaral. And I remember in the first round, I had made a mistake and he actually clipped me and dropped me, and I didn't even remember it happening until somebody showed me afterwards. So in between rounds, I actually remember Matt Briers was cornering me and he's talking to me, but I was completely tuning him out because I just couldn't wait to get back out there because I ended up in the 3rd round, I triangle choked him for the victory. My 3rd fight was also in Plymouth, Mass, against a tough New England fighter. And that one, it was the 3rd round, I believe, where I ended up finishing him with a triangle choke after pretty solid back and forth. I ended up lifting him for the takedown, mounting him, and started throwing down some bombs, and as he went to escape, he rolled me, but I locked in a triangle choke as he rolled me for the victory. My 4th fight was actually also in Plymouth, Mass, but this was a cool one because it was being followed by the tap-out show. And my opponent, Louis Felix, was also being followed by them as one of the fighters on the card. And he was favored to win. But I ended up taking the victory after a pretty good fight back and forth. He was a great wrestler, so he was able to take me down, but I controlled the striking, I controlled the grappling, and I ended up finishing with submission of the year, a Gogo Plata, in the 3rd round. And I ended up taking another fight. My 5th fight was at Mohegan Sun. We were actually the main event. It was me against now UFC veteran Joe Proctor. I ended up losing a close split decision, but it was an awesome fight and back and forth battle. As my MMA career progressed, I realized that Jiu-Jitsu was the thing I was the most passionate about out of all of the things, and all of my victories came by way of submission. Something about Jiu-Jitsu just always really struck me as beautiful, and being able to go into a competition and focus solely on the pure Jiu-Jitsu and try to create something beautiful and try to exert your Jiu-Jitsu on another opponent was really intriguing to me and captured me. I started competing as a white belt and continued competing all the way up through the ranks to black belt. I won a bunch of local tournaments, including Naga, all the way from started at beginner and worked my way up to expert divisions, won several expert divisions. I've competed in super fights at Mohegan Sun. I also competed in IBJJF tournaments, winning the brown belt Boston Open at adult. I also competed at No-Gi Worlds as well as various other tournaments. It's kind of hard to remember over the years. Although I plan to continue competing, I'm at a phase in my jiu-jitsu journey where I really feel like I want to pass on the art of jiu-jitsu to other people. I've never been as fully dedicated to the teaching path as I am now. The most important promotion in jiu-jitsu is when you go from having no belt at all to putting on your white belt. So I think when you step on the mats here, you'll see that we have people from all walks of life coming together to train a common goal, which is simply to better themselves through the beautiful art of jiu-jitsu. Because we come from a traditional jiu-jitsu background, we really value respect and integrity. We're not your typical meathead jiu-jitsu school. We don't train with ego. We're all here to improve and create a positive training environment for everyone. Whether you're looking to improve your fitness, your self-defense, or just learn something new, we have a place for you. We're a family here. I like to call it my tribe, and we'd love for you to join our tribe. So my name is Oz. I'm the head Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor here at Cage JSA, and I'm so excited to welcome you here and share our jiu-jitsu journey with you, and can't wait to see you soon.